Ehecatl. Welcome to today's reading. Today I'm pulling some cards out for the eclipse currently happening in Aries, but this eclipse reading may apply to you if you've been called here for whatever reason, or if you're going through a big change in your life, or you feel that your life maybe is in a bit of a dark place and you are in search for courage or some sort of message, then you are in the right place. Please take a moment to feel out which pile calls to you. The first pile, we have an Obsidian Dagger with a chip of mating. Second pile, we have this beautiful shell with the chip of guidance or wolf. Third pile, we have this owl feather. With the chip of deer. We're also burning some Copal for today's reading. Take a moment to call in your guides, your ancestors, to help deliver this reading. Also accompanied today by the Obsidian Mirror. And let's get right to it. Welcome, Pile 1. You've selected the Obsidian Dagger and the chip of mating. Let's pull out your cards. First card here is the medicine wheel. There's a jaguar, a hummingbird, a snake, an eagle. Whatever is going on here, this is powerful medicine. There's an element of fate that is here to teach you something precious. We have the card of burden. I want you to consider if there are any areas in your life where you are feeling heavy, like you are carrying a heavy load. Start considering which situation this is speaking to. Next is Chicomecoa, provider of sustenance. And then we have the Temazcali. I feel like if you're currently in a relationship, this could be a partner, a lover, or this could be maybe a parent or your children, or a friendship perhaps that is becoming a little heavy. Maybe you are in an unbalanced relationship, or maybe you're carrying the burden of being the provider, or maybe you're in the kitchen a lot, or the responsibilities are not equally distributed. We have who's there. Put this right here. Okay. I'm going to pull out the tarot here as well. I have cihuamazatl, Chiknawi Tekpak. I'm trying to arrange these in a way we can see them all. The last is cihuamazatl, a sacerdotisa. There's a lot here in these cards today. With the medicine wheel, right away, I feel that this is a reading about balance, finding your balance again after a period of recalibration. Now, eclipses bring in opportunities for us to step through a portal, step through change, and it's really a new beginning coming through for us. And during this window, you're gonna be able to see, because of these cards, where it is that you're no longer balanced, what areas in your life are pulling too much energy, what may have worked for you in the past, what may have functioned for you in the past. That system is no longer working for you, especially in regards to your relationship. You may have agreed to a partnership of, for example, like, I'm gonna cook all the dinners, you know, and you're going to buy the food, and or I'm gonna clean the house and you're going to do this, and you may have balanced out your relationship in that way, but things have become out of balance where it's becoming more it's becoming heavier. Like, now there's maybe more mouths to feed, or now there's more of a pull what you had originally bargained for. I also feel that you may be so caught up in like working or being the provider or trying to fulfill this vision of what a happy life should look like, or what a fulfilled life should look like, that you're beginning to lose yourself. There is a question of you're not entirely sure you can recognize yourself or even your partner, you know. And I'm not just speaking about relationships like a lover. This could be a partnership with a parent or a child, you know, or maybe even other relationships that are creating a strain on your personal relationship. I also want to say that if you're a person that's not currently in a partnership or a relationship, and this could also be that maybe you're searching for being in the right relationship has become burdensome, and you no longer recognize who you are. Maybe you've been sort of pretending to be something that you're not. And I feel like there's a lot of anxieties and sleeplessness, restlessness, because of this imbalance and not being entirely sure of who you are becoming. There's an element of the unknown that feels scary to give into. And with the medicine wheel, this comes in to teach us, to remind us of the sacred directions and the balance that we have to keep. You know, that a relationship, you know, or a relationship even with ourselves, requires physical, emotional, mental, and spiritual balance for us to be a wholesome and healthy people. And so here I feel that if you've been struggling even with your health, you know, where things have become so heavy that now your health is suffering, you know, with Chicomecoat, this could be a good time to focus more on your food and what you take in to help yourself. You know, are you eating healthy foods? You know, or maybe cooking has become, like I said, burdensome. You know, what can you do to help facilitate this process for yourself while still keeping it healthy? You have the Temazcali here, which is reminding you that it's important to purify your spirit and to purify your body. The Temazcali heals with its sweat, you know, helping us release through our pores. This is a cleansing, not only for our body but for our spirit. So if you can make it out to a sweat a sweat lodge, you know, or you can really sweat things out. Or if you can make it do temazcal, I mean, that would be ideal. A powerful medicine for you, or even just like a hot steaming shower if this is not accessible to you. A hot steaming shower can help you release some of this energy so that you can heal and start to come back to yourself. The obsidian blade reminds us that it's within our power to cut away these cords and these things that have become heavy. There's something that you no longer resonate with, some system, something that maybe you built in the past to help you is no longer functioning in the way that it should, because it's almost like as you've made room in your life, you start to feel things. Yes, you start to consume more, you start to add to the box, you know, and like over time, you know, so over time this has just become heavy from all the things you've collected. So I think it's time to clean up your fridge, clean up your pantry. Energetically, I feel that this is going to release some energy to really just clean up the way that you store things, the way that you cook, the way that you consume, and seeing what is maybe unnecessary. You know, maybe sometimes we keep buying the same grocery product and you don't use it, or you end up with like 20 pounds of rice or something. But just being mindful and taking stock of what it is that you have, and just clearing that out. If you've been having like a question in regards to your relationship, whether there's success or can it still be successful, I feel that it can be. There is a victory here. I feel like after this cleansing, after taking stock, after removing some of these things that have become heavy, there's a realization of where it is that actually things are going well. And I feel it's important to remember that. You know, sometimes we get consumed by our thoughts and our anxieties, but they're just thoughts and anxieties. You know, if there's really nothing you can do about it right now, then I don't think you should worry. And I know it's easier said than done, but if it's something that's not yet to pass, you know, if it hasn't happened, or it's in the future, or it's just a worry that you have, I think it's important to remember to come back to the present, because these things aren't real. I feel this is your mind trying to torment you and tell you, or maybe you're worried what other people are going to say or think if you let something go. Maybe you've built a partnership or a business with your partner, and maybe it just doesn't work for you anymore, and you're feeling of needing to end something, and you may just be concerned about what other people will say. And you just can't worry about this, because there is victory for you, and that's the most important thing, is that you can move forward with courage and a vision for yourself. And you have to let this victory, let this success override any of these anxieties. You know, maybe you're feeling like an imposter or something, even within your relationship. You have to look at what has worked and what has been successful. And we change all the time. We should be changing all the time and evolving. I feel like this is a transformation in your relationship where you're releasing these burdens, and things are becoming easier for you to provide for yourself because of the changes that you make, that at the end, you know, you become unrecognizable. This could also be like if you've been struggling with your weight, or something like that, you know, and it's weighing on your relationship or weighing on your health. I feel like maybe with you transforming the way that you consume and your relationship with food, you know, and almost having like a gratitude for it, it changes the way that you that you consume, and it changes your body. You know, maybe that could be a message for somebody out there. You have cihuamazatl, which is the high priestess or la sacerdotisa. This is a card reminding you to tap into your intuition and remember that you don't lose yourself. You're always there, and you're always changing, and you're always transforming, and your essence is there, and it's pure, and it's guiding you. You're not alone, and you're not in darkness. And though it may be spooky to feel like who's there, you're being guided in the dark. And for those that are in a relationship and are worried about infidelity or something like that, or really anxious, I think this is something that should be talked about with your partner. You have the Obsidian, you have the Dagger, which is about speaking these things and doing what it is that you need to do to cut through the unnecessary. We have the Obsidian mirror here, which can, if we're willing to cut through the fog, we can see ourselves for who it is that we truly are. And since we're on the topic of relationships, I'm gonna pull one of these out for you. I'm gonna close my eyes because all the images are in the front. Just this final guidance here. I think for you too, if you have an altar, to separate it into the 4 directions and place your offerings, you know, or take stock into where you are on a mental, physical, emotional, and spiritual level, and see what's the most unbalanced, or what are you avoiding, and make some ofrendas or some offerings toward that direction to help you focus on bringing balance back in those areas of your life. I'm gonna go with this one. We have a woman, you know, cocooned in these feathers. I feel this is a reminder that you are guided, that you are held. And you know, these feathers kind of look like the quetzal feathers over here. And the feathers, you can only fly if you're light, right? So this is about lightening your load so that you can fly. It says it is important right now to take a step back and spend some time alone. Instead of placing your focus on another, now is the time to give to yourself. That's really beautiful. That really goes in line with what we spoke about earlier, how you may have just gotten lost in your relationship, trying to provide, trying to live up to a certain expectation, that you've lost yourself. You know, so if you really want to answer the question of who's there, you know, who are you now, you have to spend that time alone. Maybe taking a little break from your relationship, or communicating that, hey, you know, actually I need more alone time. I can't keep cooking, you know, maybe we need to find another solution. So this is going to be a window with this eclipse where you're going to transform your relationship with how you provide and what keeps you going on a spiritual, emotional, physical, and mental level. And it's going to be a time for you to purify and cleanse. You know, it's going to show you what victory really means for you. And you may find that at the end you may not recognize yourself, but you are being guided to take some time on your own, especially with that high priestess. She knows who she is, and she's comfortable in the dark spaces, and this is you also. But I hope that this reading has resonated with you, sending you lots of love and guidance. And if you did like this, remember to like and subscribe, or comment in the comments below and let me know what situation you're in. I'm curious to see how this resonated with you. Welcome, pile 2. Welcome to your reading. Burn some copalito for you. I'm excited to see what your cards will show us. So the first, you selected the wolf with this beautiful shell. We have 2 of these. Lucky. I have lightning. Ooh. Soul retrieval. Wow. Movement into balance. I have the goat. This is giving me chills. Move our copalito to the side. You can hear my dog walking. Now nourish. Hello, Mikisli. Chalchi Yaukiski. And we have Shikwase Dekbakt. Let's see what can I chew. No. Yeah, I'll do it like that. So we have lightning here, a very powerful element showing up. There can be, during this eclipse season that we have here before us, we have this window, and it's from this window that you can see lightning. There may be things outside of your control, even far away, and that you're seeing things are changing, and things are changing really fast. There can be some things that are going to be coming into your life that are going to feel electrifying. It's going to make you feel alive. It could be shocking, it could be quick, it could be some things that maybe you didn't expect. This is a blessing here as well, though it may not feel that way in the beginning. It is always here to help illuminate, give us flashes of insight and inspiration. We have soul retrieval. This can be an understanding coming in for you, a deeper reflection of where in your life, if you experience some sort of tragedy or trauma, that maybe you left a certain piece of yourself behind during those moments. When we experience certain traumas, certain tragedies, sometimes we can experience a fracture, of who we are, and sometimes we leave little pieces of us behind. I feel like this is going to be a time for you to call back your power and to shed who it is that you once were. With Goat, the serpent, this is a time to let go, to allow yourself to change. Goat in the codices is often the Shikwat, the blue serpent, is representative of lightning, and it's here. It's a realization, it's knowledge coming down from the cosmos. It's an understanding that we are all interconnected, interwoven in all of our experiences, and sometimes they can be difficult to understand, but when we zoom out in the greater picture, we can see how interconnected we are. I think it's time to find a balance for yourself again, this is, I feel with the shell, it's a call toward purification, toward cleansing. This is movement into balance. So this makes me think of the waves and the ocean and the way that water moves, allowing yourself to be more in the flow of life, allowing things to happen, not resisting change, and oftentimes, because if we've experienced certain traumas or things in the past, we're so afraid of what can happen that we don't allow ourselves to flow and to experience new things in life. I think it's time to release and to cleanse. I feel like this is a good time for you to really focus on water energy, whether that's bathing, finding yourself toward natural pools of water, lakes, natural bodies of water, so rivers, oceans, and just cleansing, allowing yourself to be purified. And if you're, maybe that is also where you may find that little piece of yourself. Sometimes it's just in allowing ourselves to let our inner child play. Or finding out what period in your life, remembering if that you did experience something like this traumatic, where you felt maybe you lost a little piece of yourself, remembering what era in your life that was, and trying to consciously bring balance, to maybe what you may have missed out on. You are being guided here by the wolf. This may feel like a time of deep change. You have Mikisli here, you have death, you have transformation. It's time to, I feel like you may be called to just very quickly leave something behind, almost just turning right around and just being like, I'm done with this. It could be a very quick decision to change. It could be a physical change. You may decide to move somewhere. It feels very like, I don't want to say drastic, but it may seem surprising to some people, whatever change it is that you want to create here. But it feels like this change that you're trying to bring into your life is something that you need, that your soul needs to nourish itself, to heal, to reclaim these parts of you. And you may have people around you that don't entirely understand, but it's not up to them to understand. It's not their life, it's yours. And this is you being carried forward with a deep wisdom, a sense of trust and knowing. With this ocelot brings in that energy of the occult, of feeling of being guided by the stars, of knowing that even in darkness that you have your other senses to help you. So this is you being led forward, you being carried forward, you being protected in this change, in this transformation that you're undergoing. And this is you leaving something behind that was no longer nourishing you, no longer working for you. And this is in doing this and allowing yourself to change, to move forward with this, is what helps you regain these pieces of yourself so that you can move forward toward new vistas. I feel it's important that you trust that even if the change may seem sudden, you're moving toward a more nourishing, free-flowing place. I'm gonna draw an extra card for you. showing 3 for you. The first card is patience. You are able to let the universal energy of transformation move according to its own loving rhythm. Being patient with yourself in the process, and being patient with the process, even though it's moving quickly. Being patient about the results, and taking your time, the time that you need while this is happening. Responsibility. You're aware of the power of your thoughts and the amount of love you express. I also, when I read responsibility, I also heard with great power comes great responsibility. I know Spider-Man, but I feel that maybe this is an empowering time for you, where because you get this piece back of yourself, you're feeling more powerful than ever, and you're making shifts and changes that are truly transforming the landscape of your life. So remembering to be patient and to be responsible with this power that you have, this power to transform. This could also be you in a certain situation in work or in your life, where you know that the changes you're going to make is not only going to transform your life, but also those that you nourish. So just being mindful that maybe some of this patience that you need isn't just for you, but it's for those that are relying on you. And then the last is acceptance. You're ready to release control of the situations or people and lovingly embrace the rhythm of life. See, I think ready to release control of situations. There is, whatever it is that's changing is going to be ultimately good for you, but it may feel like it's outside of your control, and that's something that you're going to have to embrace, and you're going to have to accept, and you're going to have to take the responsibility and be patient with it. But you are deeply guided. You have the wolf medicine here with you, that is the leader of the pack, or sometimes you may feel like that lone wolf, but you're not alone. You have a lot of people, a lot of spirit guides guiding you through this new chapter in your life. Like, I feel that maybe you're being called towards something, toward healing, or the healing arts, and it's something that's just changing your life. And I feel like this is something that you can trust. But I hope that these cards have resonated with you. Sending you lots of love. Remember, if you like this, to hit the like and the subscribe button for future videos like this. Classic-amati, sending you lots of blessings on your eclipse journey. Welcome, Pau 3. Clearing the space for you. You've selected the owl feather. With the deer. First card from your pile is Beauty Way. We're doing this reading on the day of Xochitl in the Mexica calendar. And Xochitl teaches us about finding beauty and appreciation in our everyday life. The sacredness of impermanence and the deep meaning life can have when we allow ourselves to see beauty everywhere. We have letting go. We have 2 of these. We have reunion of souls. Oh. We have Copal, which is what we have today as incense. You have the moon. I'm gonna put you right here. It's a very feminine, beautiful reading. You'll see what Makwili Yolot. Chalchiotelpocat. I feel this is a reading where one of the messages for you is that it's important to honor the sacred cycles of life, and we're going to have our moments of darkness and illumination. You have the moon. The moon is currently in an eclipse process. This is an eclipse reading, and we learn during times like this that these celestial bodies can occult each other, plunge us into a sort of symbolic darkness where we are forced to consider the power of our other senses, the ability to experience life in a vivid way with not just our vision. What is beautiful isn't just what you can see. You're being asked by the deer to allow your sensitivity to flourish. I feel like maybe you are a very gentle, sweet person, but maybe you are putting on a mask to hide that sensitivity and that curiosity and that gentleness, that softness that wants to explore life. I feel like maybe you're putting on a lot of armor or pretending to be someone that maybe you're not. And you see beauty where other people do not see it. And that is part of your gift. And there is a reminder here that you are allowed to let go. We are cyclical beings. You know, I feel like this could be a time, you know, if you are a feminine person and you bleed, you know, during your moon ceremony, it's important that you're making conscious intentions to let go. If you've been trying to get in tune with the spiritual nature of your feminine cycle, this may be a confirmation to continue that work. Oftentimes, well, we were taught that our moon time was something that was dirty or that, you know, should not be seen or should not be talked about. But this is actually some of the times where you're the most powerful. They say that in the Temazcal, in different traditions, for some, you know, a feminine person during their moon time isn't allowed inside of the Temazcali or the sweat, because they're so powerful that they can knock others off their feet. But once, with another medicine person that ran the Temazcali, she told me that in her tradition that women were encouraged to come into the Temazcali because they were so powerful that they could call in the elders. They could call in the ancestors. So I think maybe this could be, you know, maybe you're somebody that struggles with their feminine cycle. You know, maybe you're being asked to be more curious about it, you know, to explore the intricate workings of it from a spiritual perspective, and to learn to see the beauty in it, and or simply to use your moon ceremony to let go of whatever it is that is weighing you down. I feel that there is a connection that is here present. You know, maybe you've been wondering about somebody. The deer is reminding you to stay curious, stay open, find the beauty in everything and everyone. And this could be you reuniting with yourself, your soul, or the soul of another. We have Copal here. Copal is a sacred resin that burns white. Let's see here. And it is said by the Mexica ancestors that the sacred white smoke could carry the prayers up into the cosmos, into the heavens. Set your intention with Copal, with this sacred resin. Send your prayers. Burn some copalito for yourself during your moon ceremony. You have Yolosiwat. It's important to reconnect with your heart. This is a gift. You're a very loving, heartful person. And whatever it is that didn't go through, it's time to let it go. I feel like there is a disappointment here that you're being asked to move on for. Sometimes, if you look at this card, yes, this person is upset that there was a spilling of his cups, right? This represents the cups, but these are hearts. But if you look, the eyes on these yolots are little X's. They were already, they no longer have any life for this person. They weren't fulfilling them. So the time for them to go has come. So instead of focusing your energy on what is lost, focus instead on what is available to you. Sometimes these things, we're pouring energy into them, but they're not really fulfilling us. And that energy could be used toward things that could be fulfilling us. So just being mindful and open toward gratitude, that there are things outside of our understanding that are trying to help us and liberate us so that we can use our energy more efficiently. It's time to take balance, and really acknowledge what is truly precious to you during this eclipse season. It's going to be a time for you to really set your intentions and for you to make deeper spiritual connections, which are going to ground you into this earth. Maybe this is time for you to start your garden. A lot of gardening has a lot to do with the moon and its cycle, so being mindful of that as well. But I feel this is a time for you to really just see what is of true value to you, emotionally, spiritually, physically, and mentally, and making adjustments accordingly. I'm going to pull 2 cards out for you. I'll pull a card out for you. We'll see what happens. We pulled Chalchitlicue, the goddess of water, and Osamatli, the monkey. Chalchitlicue reminds us to flow and be like the water in the rivers and the oceans, to help cleanse us and purify us. You also do have this owl feather here, which is a reminder that you are being deeply guided and watched over by this sacred creature, reminding you that even through death and even through letting go, we enter into a portal where we can be cleansed and purified, and that we can see and what it is we truly want, and what it is we truly value. Also, Matli here is trying to remind you to not take things so seriously. You know, things are beautiful, to remember the beauty of things, but to remember the medicine of laughter, you know, and staying curious and allowing yourself to swing from the branches, allowing yourself to experience new things. Oftentimes we think we know what things should look like and that we limit ourselves from what things could be, and we don't allow ourselves to co-create with the universe. So I think this is a time for a change, a time for you to focus on the beautiful and joyful things in your life with some gratitude, sending some gratitude, prayers of gratitude into the cosmos. I feel would be a beautiful practice for you to realign with who it is that you truly are. I hope that you've enjoyed this reading. If you liked it, please hit the like and the subscribe button. Also, if you're in need of Copal, I do offer some Copal in my shop. If that's, you know, I know if you don't have any, it's available there for you. Tlaxcomati, Ometel.